But Montrose, super impressed with the way they've gone about things.
Ready to get underway. We're just finally getting everyone off the ground, everyone into position, ready for the start of the Division 1 at Choose Tap Finals for 2014.
Montrose going to the left of screen.
Thank you very much, Seymour. Just so we're on the ball.
Canterbury Road end.
The left of your radio dial. Up near the pie shed is the left-hand side of your radio dial.
Good pass there.
Ready and raring to go. Division 1 qualifying final thanks to Choose Tap. It's Vermont and Montrose. Ball thrown up for the first time this afternoon. Bit of a 0-0 draw in the ruck. And it'll be Montrose through Johnson to get the first clearance. Kicks out wide, finds Watson, who was under a lot of pressure. Cleaning up across the back there was Preto. Gave it back to Johns. Johns kicks up the line, tries to find a target there in Bird. Hard up against the boundary line. He's got to beat 3, does Bird. Just handballs, and that's probably a good result in the end. Found a bit of space.
I'll tell you what, great matchup straight away. Mullet and Johnson lining up on one another, and both immediately spread to the other sides of the ground.
Well, they'll see each other at every ball up, and that's about it.
That's about it.
Ball thrown back in. Nice tap from Taylor just to find a bit of space. Can't quite do so. Once again, Johnson in it early, although handballs to his opposite number there in Parker. First chance inside forward 50 for Vermont. Taylor couldn't take the mark. Hard up against the boundary line. Goes out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw, and a good chance to go boundary side thanks to Life Care, Damien Watson.
The interchange players for Montrose in this first term: Andrew Haining, Ricky Causa, Lee Scott and David McCardle. And for Vermont?
For Vermont down here we've got Daniel Reid, Ash Froud, Xavier Barry Murphy and Chris Barden.
Fair bit of talent on both those benches.
Yes, they'd walk into any other side in the competition just about. Let's have a look at the opposite end of the ground. Billy Schilling on Jacob Castricum, of course, the former Knox Falcon. That's a massive matchup. Billy yet to really take a game by the scruff of the neck, probably in the last 2.5 months. So they'll be looking for a big one from their spearhead this afternoon, the Demons.
Ball about 40 metres out from the Vermont goals. See Chris Barden just picking himself up there. Such an imposing figure for the Vermont Football Club, and a handy one around finals time as Taylor got a handy knockout there. They're about 25 metres out from goal. Pack forms. The umpires picked to holding the man, and I think it might go the way of the Eagles here. So free kick to Vermont about 20 metres out directly in front here, and it'll be Bernie Deneen, one of the favourite sons of the Eastern Football League, to perhaps put the first goal on the board for this match in the Choose Tap final. So he runs around now, plays on, goes about a snap about it, but he makes no mistake, Bernie Deneen, straight over the goal umpire's head for the first goal of the afternoon on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It is Vermont 1 straight 6 and yet to score Montrose.
Sorry, David.
No, don't tell me that Bernie's been watching the AFL with these directly in front, and he's gone and kicked it round his body. I can't believe it.
Coach killers.
A little bit disappointing to see the first goal of a final go to a free kick. A little bit of a Frosty Band, a dairy farming a bad at from Bernie Deneen. Just milked it for all it was absolutely worth, but the free kick from directly in front, 15 metres out. I think 9 out of 10 footballers would have gone for the drop punt, but round the body, and it doesn't matter now. It's 6 points. It all counts.
It's in fashion running around on that snap now.
Not sure about it.
Umpire Jordan Buckingham throws the ball aloft. Once again, a nice contest in the middle. Both sides trying to work it out early. Deneen couldn't quite get the kick away. Moves forward for Montrose. Johnson, first to meet it now, gets it inside forward 50. Trying to find a mark, can't quite do so. Handball back to go forward. Rickard up towards the target there in Hoare. And nice work to outmuscle his opponent there. And Rowan Hoare can line up for the first one on the board for the Montrose Footy Club.
And this is going to be the crucial, I think this will be one of the crucial contests, whether Hoare can get on top and really dominate, because he's a real confidence player. If he gets up early, he's very hard to stop because he's so mobile.
Just to even it up once again. Starts it right, swinging back. Has it done enough? No, it hasn't. And through for one behind. So it's a 5-point lead in favour of the Eagles. It's 1 straight 6 Vermont, 1 behind, 1 point Montrose. 3.5 minutes gone, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
He plays in one of those positions as well, Hoare, that it's really good to watch when he gets on top, up at the high half forward. If blokes can dominate a game from that position, it's almost more important than dominating a game from a half back flank.
So Millhouse heads out towards the mullet direction. It was a decent old kick. There might have barely been a push in the back. The umpire said it was okay over the top. Preto got the handball to the run. Now Vermont drive inside forward 50 to the look of Van Noonan. Has he positioned himself well enough? Nice little spoil there. Montrose will get away with this one. Well done, Brendan Gardle, to force the stoppage, and we'll have a boundary throw in about 25 metres out from the Eagles goal line.
Very important player, Brendan Gardle. He was awesome a few weeks ago on Jake Hammond. Did a nice little number on him against Blackburn, and was good enough to get the footy himself and start lots of rebounds forward for Montrose. Even got the end of a goal, so he's a really important player.
Emily goes after it very close to the boundary line. Deneen somehow got a handball out. He was working himself out of a phone booth there. The kick scrambles its way up to the top of the goal square. And getting down and taking a strong mark was Goodman on the right boot now. Short passes on. So Montrose, they'll use the outer side of the ground here, Paul.
They've got to use the closer side of the ground, BWS. The whole game has been played on the far wing here. They've just got to bring it around in front of the broadcast position, open it up a little bit, find the space that's not there yet.
So the kick goes up towards the wing position. Nice little knock away there by McCarthy. Going after it there was Barden on hands and knees. Montrose got a handball out, but Mullet came in to lend some support for his side. Little handball over the top. Johnson's in there for Montrose. Sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 6-minute mark is Vermont 1 straight 6 and Montrose 1 behind.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I think Montrose are winning the ball on ground at the moment, just not being as clean as what they should be.
Ball thrown in once again. Johns to pick up, lines up from 45
nice.
And slots that one straight through the middle. The vice-captain of the Vermont Football Club and the second on the board for the Vermont side. They move on to 2 straight 12 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Montrose 1 behind 1 point. 5.5 minutes gone first term.
Taylor's been involved in both the goals so far with his great work in the ruck, so he's a real danger. Real danger at the moment. He's just been influential in everything that he can do.
Yep.
You know, Hanning's a real workhorse. He's just got to get on top of him at the moment.
It's the third time that Lockie Johnson's got first hands on the footy out of the stoppage as well. He's a super all-round sportsman, we know that. You let a bloke like Lockie Johnson get off the chain, he will dominate you for most of the afternoon.
Taylor got the tap down, but almost found his opposite ruckman in Haining. Johnson been in everything so far, and they go inside forward 50 once again, Montrose, and they've found a target again. Exactly what you want to see. I think that's 2 inside 50s for 2 marks, if I'm not mistaken, and it's Mark Watson. Thanks to Choose Tap. Am I right or am I right, Grant Campbell?
Oh, you're absolutely on the money, Dyson. 3 inside 50s to 2.
So Watson for the first goal on the board for the Montrose Footy Club. Pretty stern with his approach. Bends it and sits it way left. Doesn't swing back far enough. And another behind on the board for Montrose. 2 behinds, 2 points. They trail by 10 points. Vermont 2 straight 12. 7 minutes gone first term. EFL game day.
I think they'll be really happy just to spot up the short target going inside 50 all day. If they go to one-on-ones between Schilling and Cashercombe is that good a fullback. More often than not, the ball's just going to hit the deck and it'll be too easy for the Eagles defenders to mop up. So they will be measured going inside 50.
Millhouse went to the Taylor direction. Flyer over the back was Henley. Forced the spoil on ground level. The pack forms. Going in very hard there was Laversha. And he'll pick himself up, hand the ball back to the umpire, and we'll have a bounce. Almost on the half-forward line for Montrose. They've been peppering over the last few minutes of play. Just can't put the major through on the board thus far. Going in hard there was Barden, but they worked themselves out here. Mullet got a handball from Henley, and little chip kick went absolutely nowhere in the end. I'm not sure if that went the required distance, but the umpire said it was okay. The kick goes up towards the half-forward line. Coming out hard there was Rickard, took it on the mark. He wants to play on. He goes one way, then the other. Squeezes the kick up towards Watson. It was spoiled nicely there by Henley, but it came down to Rickard. He got a little handball out. Montrose, they've still got time. The snap kick there from Sam Goodman. Still fell to the top of the goal square there. Can it be caught upon there? Montrose, they fail in that task as the house, Dean Millhouse, takes it across the half-back line. He steadies, kicks it up towards the wing position where Wilcox takes it right in front of us here on the broadcast side. Getting a lot of advice from over the sidelines today. High tempo match so far. The short pass is on. I don't know where that was going because it went straight down the throat of Matty Langdon. Handball over the top, one of my favourite players. He went to Goodman. Scrappy handball. Barden went in hard, but then came in Laversha. Handball into no man's land, but it might work out okay here because Bell's running onto it on the right boot. Kicks it inside forward 50. Bouncing football. Here's Schilling. Can he pick the ball up? No, he can't. Umpire comes in and bounces about 40 metres out from the Montrose goal. So it is a fast-paced game of football so far.
Yeah, I like Schilling coming out a little bit more.
Yep.
I want him to not get stuck in there because he's such a great kick. Get him out a little bit and don't hedge him in and let Cashercombe take over from him.
Well, Taylor got the easiest of knockouts then, and then coming in hard and copping one high maybe was Telford from Chris Barden, but the umpire said it was okay, so we'll have a bounce. Centre half forward for Montrose.
Started on the bench Chris Barton, but since he's coming on, his energy has just been fantastic. His aggression in and around the pack, there's laying tackles and putting the body in hard. He's trying to set the tone here for his side.
Well, they've linked up okay here because Beninga on the right boot sends it inside forward 50 and using his body beautiful was the senior coach Brett Johnson.
Too strong.
Just judged the ball perfectly in flight and he takes the mark about 35 metres out, 45-degree angle.
And that's the thing you forget about him. He's a small player, but he is very, very strong. Strong over the ball. And he's generally a great kick, so hopefully I haven't put the moz on him.
I think you have.
I'm sure
always
I
the
have.
way.
Well, they've had 2 misses from this side of the ground so far. It's up to a seasoned performer like Johnson to show him how to do it, and he does just that. Montrose first goal on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 10-minute mark of this first division at Choose Tap final. It is Vermont still leading, though, by 4 points. 2 straight goals, 12-1 to 8 Montrose.
That's the second full 4 rotation that Vermont have already had. So they're up to over 10 rotations and we've played 10 minutes. So they're certainly running the players off. And I think the players are not going to be used to this sort of weather playing straight away. So it's a great idea, get those rotations early.
They'll be all right. It's still August in Melbourne. By the time the second half comes around, it will cool down a little bit and the weather will be more what they're used to. But there will be just thick and fast rotations until then.
Almost a clearance, but Mullet and Johns wrap up their opponent there in Stephen. The ball's going nowhere. We'll have a secondary ball up. Bird in as the second ruckman now. Taylor going off for a rest. Interesting to see that Haining was just starting to get on top around the ground. Obviously uses that big body of his, just out-muscles Taylor probably around the ground, I'd say.
Yeah, it'll be pretty good in the one-on-ones in the stoppage situation, just in the especially through the arc.
Just forces body contact. Ball thrown up once again. Bird got the tap down. A chance to clear out Johnson to Mullet. Up towards half forward. Be a push in the back and it'll be a free kick going the way of Reed. Well and truly there. So Reed up towards half forward. Looks for a target and finds it. And a beautiful mark taken there by Ash Froud. Froud still 60 from home. Pretty open forward 50. Short chip kick looking for Van Noonan. Couldn't quite find him. Ball spills out to Wilcox. Gives the handball out to Chadwick. Puts himself under a fair bit of pressure. And the ball's wrapped up going nowhere.
A few of the Vermont boys with the zinc across the nose. Dyson Baker had a bit of a chuckle at me this afternoon on the way in, but certainly
You're
a
sitting in
smart
the
option.
balcony. They're actually out on the ground doing something. Ball thrown up. Tapped down by Bird. Good work from him. Just starting to create a contest early is Trap Bird.
The one thing that's been really noticeable is that Vermont, at every opportunity, are trying to enforce a little bit of physical pressure. They're trying to put Montrose off their game by just being a little bit physical around the contest to see if they can crack them early.
Once again, bit of a nil-all draw that time, but Mullet will be first to swoop on it. Just snaps around the body. It'll land about 25 metres out from goal, looking for a target. Nice punch from the Montrose defence. He'll have a chance to clear it out through Causa. Gets it away to his captain in Goodman. Looking for the target there in Scott. But cutting in and coming across is Reed. Gives to his skipper in Mullet and finds Emily. Emily 55 out. Trying to clear out the forward 50. Just short chip kick, looking for a marking target. Can't quite find it. Montrose a chance to take it away.
And they'll use the outer side to do so too. The D's is bouncing away with it at the moment is Jai Goodman on the right boot. Kicks it up towards the wing position and out of bounds on the full. So very wasteful there. Schilling's come a long way up from goal. Short passes on. Henley takes the mark. He's right on the wing position here, just lurking up was Preto. He couldn't spot him, but they'll go the long way. Kicks it across the ground here to Johnson, who takes the mark, and he takes off now. On the right boot, sends it up towards the half-forward line. It's a good-looking kick, playing for a free kick, and not getting it there was Ash Froud. Bouncing football, comes up towards Laversha, who's had a bit of the football so far. Short passes on, a clever play there by Dean Stephen, but the umpire said it didn't go far enough, so he had to play on. It comes back now to Laversha on the right boot. Short little passes on to Matty Langdon. It'll swing around now on the left boot. The short passes on as Johnson dropped what he probably should have taken. Bird was on his hammer, nicely picked up there by McCarthy. Got the handball to Johns. His handball went into no man's land, so it was basically chopped off by Lindgren. Going in there was Goodman. Handball over the top to Johnson, and now the D's might be able to link up. He has time, he has poise, and the short passes on to Watson. They can slow things down a little bit here. So Montrose just working themselves out of the half-back line. He called to go on. Dean Stephen calling forward on the wing position. Watson off the side of the boot then, and it was a bit of an up and under kick in towards the middle of the ground, picked up by Mullet, handball over the top. It was chopped off there by Goodman, who bangs it on his boot inside forward 50, and it's a one-on-one situation. A high bounce favours the Eagles. A clearing kick goes out towards the Barden direction. He'll have to go after it. It was a 3-on-1 situation. The one in Scott couldn't win out, and now Vermont can run themselves down the wing. It was a nice Shepherd too. One bounce two. The kick goes up by Johns up towards the half-forward line. Van Union's got 2 players to beat. The 2 win out in the end. Picked up by Laversia. Short passes on to Watson. Ducked into the tackle, so the umpire said it was fair. That was good play. Parker still able to lay a legal tackle, and we'll have a bounce true centre wing position.
Both teams are turning it over with the short feet at the moment. They're just going to need to just be a little bit patient. Just
Haining just stood tall there, and Bird came over the top and won the knockout. Scrambled to kick up towards the half-forward line. Could be almost paid deliberate there.
Yeah,
Instead, it might be a free kick to Gardle, who forced the stoppage and did certainly go in hard and low. So the free kick will be in the hands of him across the half-back line now for Montrose. David Bell asking for it short. That's ignored. Told to go on with it now, Gardle, and once again the kick goes off the side of the boot, but Hall had the front spot. It was knocked away from him. McCarthy over the top, couldn't quite trap the football. Barry Murphy was in there too for Vermont, and we'll have a bounce right in front of us here on the broadcast side.
Montrose probably don't have the guns to be able to go long and slow, big kicks down the middle.
Kick comes out, nice work there from Stephen, just found a bit of space in the contest, but kick wasn't flash. Preto has it in the middle of the ground for the Eagles. Just assesses his options, now goes back to Johnson. Short chick kick, finds Chadwick, right in the centre of Bayswater Oval. Called to play on, now he kicks inside forward 50. He's finally found a bit of space, Justin Van Unen, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're an Eagles fan. So man on the mark will stand at about 45. Van Unen will start his run up from well back. Across to Grant Campbell for the Tuesday match stats.
Inside 50s 8-6 in favour of Vermont, and they're on top in the hitouts 13-6.
For goal number 68 of the year. And more importantly for Vermont's third of the afternoon. Slow with the approach. Comes in now. Now sends it on the right boot, and it's just hung out right. And it stays right up. It just stayed in for a point. So the first blemish on the scoreboard for the Eagles. 2-1-13 Vermont, 1-2-8 Montrose. 16.5 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard here on AFL Game Day. Around the grounds, thanks to the local Burger Co. 16 minutes gone first term. Sharks and Bloods in the Division 4 prelim final. It's the Sharks one behind. Bloods yet to score.
The kick goes out in towards the centre square over the back of the top there. Jacob Castricum hit your heart out. That was a nice fly. Goes back, kicks it up towards the Taylor direction. Tallest man on the ground. Deneen at his feet. Goes after it. Haney came in to lay some support so that Montrose were able to get a clearing kick, which was smothered. Still in the middle of the ground. Kick up towards the middle now, and Vermont will have the chance through McCarthy on the left boot. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. There might have been a free kick against Beninga there. The umpire saw it, so not necessary across the half-forward line. Barden has the tackle. Nathan Henley on the right boot, kicks it in towards the forward pocket to the Van Unen direction. I said it's gone over the boundary line and out of bounds. 25 metres out from the Vermont goals.
Montrose just lacking that target to kick to about 75 metres out from goal, whereas Vermont, they seem to be finding enough players, even if it's just midfielders, just to take that mark and get the 4-way forward going inside 50.
Deneen at the fall of the ball picked it up, and Beninga sees him over the boundary line and out of bounds for another throw-in. So deep in the forward pocket now for Vermont. Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 18-minute mark of the first term. Vermont lead by 5 points. 13 plays 8. Front spot there to Haining. He's won the last couple here. Comes out. Langdon cop one high. So it'll be a free kick to Montrose.
Just have a look at the last time these two teams met. Vermont got out to a handy 4-goal lead before Montrose reeled them back in and actually won by a kick and a half. So they're no strangers to a close encounter, these two sides.
That's exactly basically the words that Tony Eastwood, the president of Montrose, said about the Vermont Footy Club during the week, which was interesting byplay in this one.
That's because they're playing one-on-one football all over the ground. Yeah. All over the ground, it's one-on-one footy at the moment.
A couple of changes about to take place with Sam Rickard and Lee Scott coming on the ground.
And that's why they can't come on at the moment, because when you're playing one-on-one football, you can't afford to have a change.
That open man.
So Taylor that time came down Langdon, snapped it out of the danger zone. It was a good kick, and when you play in front, you'll take it. So Been taken there by Petrarca. Short passes on. Goodman on the left boot, in towards the middle now. It's a risky kick. Johnson had the front spot, knocked it to the favour there of Lindgren, who kicks it inside forward 50. Billy Schilling had the front spot this time, so we saw Justin Van Noonen do it down one end. Now Billy Schilling will have his chance at the other from closer in as well. So this, you expect this should be bread and butter for the big full forward.
Oh, he'll put it over the trees. He is a huge kick, this young kid.
That was the kick they struggled with a bit there, the Demons. It fell forward for Lindgren, who got the scrappy kick forward. It worked in the end. It wasn't, you wouldn't draw a picture of it, Davo, but whatever works, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not in the coaching manual, that one.
So Schilling to put Montrose in front for the first time in the afternoon. Straight over the goal umpire's head it goes. And as we hit time on in the qualifying final, Choose Tap Final Series Division 1, it is Montrose 2-2-14, Vermont 2-1-13. This game is going to be very tight, Dyson. You can just sense it.
Sure is. Now, neither side really allowed to get off the leash at the moment. Probably our disposal not helping that cause either.
If that does happen, Davo, if one side does get off the leash, who does that favour? Who's the side that you think that's more capable of actually breaking this struggle at the moment?
Look, I think if Montrose get on top, they're a great. When they get going, bang, they can put a lot of goals forward very, very quickly.
Johns gives the stiff arm, then kicks in towards the forward 50. Emily can't pick up. Trying to cut in and cut it across there was Goodman, just got held up.
That's where they've improved in the last 5 minutes. Their defensive pressure in Vermont's forward line's been much better. Goodman's been the controller there.
Good work from Haining, tap down. Now a chance to try and open up a bit of space here for Montrose. That is kicked towards the wing, just hasn't been flashed. Stephen gives his handball away, finds a target there on Telford. Working in a phone booth at the moment, over the boundary line and out of bounds as Dylan Rickard goes. Bit
of an unsung hero, this Montrose side, Dean Stephen. He was phenomenal when we saw him a couple of weeks ago. He does have little things that you don't notice that are so vital to Montrose getting hands on the footy around the stoppage.
And one of the most annoying players running around, I'll tell you what.
Man on man in every ruck contest, Haining and Taylor at the moment. It's great to see. Kick came forward, Wilcox couldn't take the mark, and it'll be a ball up 60 from home for the Eagles. Nice solid start in this one. It's the Division 1 Choose Tap qualifying final action. 2-2 plays 2-1 in favour of the Demons. The winner to take on Norwood for a spot in the grand final in a few weeks' time. And the ball up and just a bit of a lull in play. This time Taylor gets the tap down, but to no avail. We'll once again have another contest as Johnson sees it over the boundary line right in front of the Montrose coaches box.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live on efl.org.au right around the globe. Division 1 football at its best. The ruck contest cleared all players. Goodman got a kick into the middle. Watson got tackled, almost could have been in the back. Emily came in for Vermont, got a swing away handball that probably went about 25 metres in the end, but Meninga was there to scoop on it for the Demons. His kick in towards the middle. The ground worked out okay. Got Bell screaming for it across the half-forward line, but instead Dylan Rickard takes the mark. He's about 60 metres out from goal. He stops, props, he squeezes it up. Watson's all by himself. He wanted to go in that direction. He just waited too long for the football. Bell comes in the end, picked up there, snapped around the body, bouncing football in towards the forward pocket, still kept alive. But Vermont might have the numbers here, but the ball is on a good string. Bouncing football, scooped upon, kicked up towards the Deneen direction, over the head of him it goes, and seen over by Trav Bird for a boundary throw-in. Big ruckman Taylor having a rest at the moment, so, and also Bernie Deneen coming off for a spell also.
How's that for an interchange? Pardon for Deneen. Just quality.
It's the third or fourth time that's happened right in front of us. They're obviously the two elder statesmen of this Vermont midfield. They're just waxing off each other beautifully at the moment.
Did nicely, picked up by Parker, received the handball I should say, kick up towards the Wilcox direction. He's got two players to beat over the top of him. Garthwaite picks up the football. They've worked it out okay here. Now Scott got the handball towards the direction there of Laversha, who turned himself into a bit of traffic and put himself under pressure on the kick, so it's been chopped off by Bird. Just come on there for Taylor. Short passes on, that's good. Emily, interesting do on Emily, there's no doubt about that, as his kick now goes up towards the half-forward line. Big fly over the back that time. I think that might have been Johns who went after it, but at the fall of the ball, it gets a little handball away. Rickard will come after it. So too is Ash Frow. Couldn't quite scoop on it. Lindgren's right on his hammer. Dylan Rickard comes in to lay some support. He just wanted the safety of the boundary line in Eventually he's slung over for a boundary throw-in around the grounds. Dyson Baker, thanks to the local burger code.
Yeah, quarter time out at Walker Park. Sharks one behind, Bloods 1 goal. So a nice tight tussle between those two.
Ray Baird seeing a cracker as Mullet snap kick up towards the forward line. It might go all the way here, but touched on the line. It was bouncing. Lee Scott just being there just in the nick of time, and a minor score is the result. And it's all square out here at the 24-minute mark, 2-2, 14 apiece.
Jack Garthwaite will be thinking his lucky stars there. He went for the roll hack out of mid-air and completely missed the football.
Doesn't matter because Rory Lehman's marked. Gives off, and now inside forward 50 once again. Nice mark taken on the last line. Work there from Scott. That's a couple of really solid defensive pieces of play. Beninga out of side, just puts himself into a little bit of pressure, gives his handball off to Causa. Now they finally found a bit of space. Kick comes up to centre wing. A long way from home is Billy Schilling. Now he gives the handball. Plenty of space through the middle of Bayswater Oval we've seen so far. Inside forward 50, looking for a target. On that occasion it was Hall. Couldn't take the mark. Still in the possession of the Demons, although they're making it hard.
Got to hold those marks.
Yeah, that was crucial because they had played that so well. Schilling coming down, created the overlap, a lot of space down back. Hall ran into a beautiful space, got the ball given to him, dropped an easy mark.
Ball thrown in right on the paint of 50 for Montrose. They'll give up possession though. Emily gives it away, finds it on the outer side. Now a chance to go forward once again, up in the direction there of Henley. He couldn't mark. He'll be first to lead, second to lead to the ball here, under a fair bit of pressure. Again, great work from Beninga. Beninga and Sot, just in the last couple of minutes, that Montrose defence really holding up pretty strong at the moment.
They're running a +1 into their defence extremely well. Their midfield are pushing so hard up the ground that they're also able to push back, and they're helping out their defenders very, very well at the moment, Montrose.
Good tap down there from Bird, finds a bit of space. Kick came off from Frau, didn't really go anywhere. We're about 45 out from the Vermont goal. Will be held up once again.
Just seemed like you've had your heart in your mouth a little bit more when Vermont have gone forward. They've just looked to be a little bit more dangerous, about 30 to 40 metres out from goal, whereas at the other end of the ground, Montrose seem to be giving up the footy too easily.
Ball thrown up once again. Now a chance for Montrose to clear away. Plenty of numbers forward if they can just be clean with disposal. Watson up towards Schilling, but it's been cut off once again, this time by Lehman. It's been pretty sharp, but it's a little bit of aerial ping pong at the moment. Johnson tries to take the mark on centre wing, can't quite do so. He'll win the free kick. So now here's a chance if they can work back quickly for the Demons. Short chip kick out wide. Watson's got a paddock to work in. Now goes inside forward 50, sharp chip kick for Rickard. He couldn't take the mark. Now a chance for Vermont to take it away once again.
And short passes on. Bird's got it. He's got a bit of space too across the half back line. Chips it up towards the wing position. Van Union's come himself a long way out from goal, but takes the mark. On the right boot now, kicks it inside forward 50. Reid made some space over the top of him. It was looking for Frau, bouncing football, and Lindgren sees it over for a boundary throw in about 40 metres out from Vermont's goals.
Montrose working hard at the other end and going forward, but it just seems too often that they're trying to, almost Darren Jarman style, just trying to pin the ears back and just nail one right above the eyes of the teammate. It's just not quite coming off from them at the moment, Davo. They're just going to play basics, don't they? And just try and find a teammate no matter how.
Exactly.
Well, it's both sides making too many errors around the middle of the ground, I believe, as the short pass is up to Watson now. What can they conjure here? The kick up towards the Dean Stephen direction. He's not going to drop that, and he takes off right kick inside forward 50, looking for the Schilling direction. It was knocked away. That was good play there and a good spoil by Castricum, but Schilling, handball backwards to go forwards. That was Goodman on the right boot, set sail towards the goals, but it's going to get bouncing football. It might even go through for a behind here, but seen over the boundary line and out of bounds. So we expected a close one. We expected a cracker. And a quarter time on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It is scores level out here in the qualifying final. Choose Tap Division 1. Vermont and Montrose, 2-2, 14 apiece. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live on efl.org.au around the globe, but around the eastern suburbs there's some other big finals happening today, and we're going to be back with all those important around the ground scores thanks to the local burger company right after this.
If I'm going to have a plumber come to my place, I want one that cares. So I use local H2 Pro Plumbing. They communicate, arrive on time, respect me in my home, and execute with excellence. And they support Who Gives a Crap.